Welcome to the LivXplore Podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe. Welcome, everyone. I'm Sean Payne, owner and founder of LivXplore. I have Isaiah Chass, our co-host, with us today. Hello, Isaiah. And I have Stuart Broughton of the Sonoma Mortgage Group with us today. Stuart, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to talk about all the craziness that's going on in the mortgage market right now. So there's a lot of titles out there talking about what's going on, and so let's head right into it. Rates, they've been
very volatile lately.
Yeah, continuing
for
to
sure.
tick up.
Obviously everyone's understands the inflation problem, what's going on out there as far as what pushes mortgage rates higher. Well, the last couple of weeks have been a little brutal,
right.
As far as that's concerned. Tomorrow's a big day with the symposium with the Fed. They're going to speak about where his rhetoric is going to be for forward-moving policy.
Okay.
Are they going to tighten? Are they going to hold? Are they going to pivot at some point? Right now, I think through the end of the year, we're going to see rates kind of where they're at. Mm-hmm. But right now, just to give you kind of an idea where interest rates are at, I'm a wholesale mortgage broker now. I'm not with an independent mortgage bank. My rates are a tad lower. So right now, FHA, VA, no points, about 6.5%. So Govy-backed loans are well priced. You can even get down in the high fives, low sixes with paying a point.
Paying a point.
Right. And about conventional 30-year conforming is around 6.99 at no points. Jumbo's a little higher, but just depending on people's credit scores, down payments, all that stuff, you can still get rates under 7. I see a lot of advertising. I have buddies at some places where they're pushing high 7s and 8s, and that's
right.
You don't unless your credit score is lower, you really don't need to be getting those rates.
But I think that's the point of the podcast is that while you're saying, hey, 6.99, 6.5 for FHA, someone listening to me like, holy cow, that sounds really high. That's not. As of a couple of weeks, like I said, rates have been going up. We're tickling 8. I think yesterday I looked, the national average was at 7.61. I mean, it's always bouncing around, but like
I look at Mortgage News Daily. The average interest rate in United States right now from conforming is 7.35.
Is it? Yeah. It's bouncing around there. So
it is.
So what you've just stated, wow, like comparing that to the 3% from a couple of years ago sounds high. That actually is a really good rate right now.
It is.
And on top of that, it's not just the interest rate itself, but the cost. Obviously, a lot of the mortgage banks, their volume is so low right now.
They've jacked their margins up.
Yeah, so
right.
The cost for that rate is probably $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 more on top of the higher rate.
Right. I mean,
it's a really good point.
There's like it's about 10 to 14 grand difference on some transactions as far as you put me against an independent mortgage bank. Right. That's too much. I mean, I don't think borrowers have to pay that.
Yeah.
So it's just smart to kind of shop around, look around. You don't want to like a fly-by-night online lender that's going to, offer the lowest rate possible and put you through a nightmare process. You want to be able to get it done. And I think the big misconception on my side of the business, I did this before 2008. I brokered everything. Was, you're not going to get done on time. The execution, all that stuff, that's total BS. Mm-hmm. I get stuff done very quickly. You've seen what I've done on a VA deal. We slammed that thing in 17 days. Mm-hmm. So it's depends on, who's doing it, what their platform is, and just being, communicate with the people up front about payments, all that stuff, where rates are currently at, right? Instead of maybe quoting lower, and then when the person gets in the contract, you lock them in a lot higher and they get upset. Mm-hmm. So just be careful with that. The rates can fluctuate. Not everyone gets the prime lowest rate, depending on down payment, credit score, and all that stuff. But, there are lower rates out there compared to a lot of independent mortgage banks.
Right. Well, that's a very good point. Very good point that way. So
every dollar counts right now.
Right.
Oh my God, it does.
Yeah. No, I mean things are difficult. So you think rates are going to continue? I agree like this for the foreseeable
Tomorrow's
future.
a big day. I think if the Fed has more rhetoric that they're still very foot on the pedal as far as fighting inflation, that could send the bond market and everything the other way.
Right.
I mean, he says anything, the market completely reacts. I mean, it overreacts. Knee-jerk reaction is what we're seeing. So,
do you think though that I think a lot of people are expecting a rate hike? Do you think that's already priced?
Yeah, they're going to do another quarter point next meeting. I mean, quarter point is compared to what we've gone through is not that bad, but
with that, usually it's already expected, already priced in.
Everything's priced in the market, right? And the market looks at rhetoric from Powell, other factors, jobs reports, inflation numbers, all that. But what's happened, lately is everyone's just hanging every breath on this news. Mm-hmm. So and the market does the same thing. Right, so we could have a price change where rates get worse 0.25% within an hour.
Right.
So it's being on top of your game, communicate with your client, let them know exactly what the rates are, not quoting lower than you actually are, and actually, doing that, because there's a lot of that going on in this game right now. But yeah, just having full communication and being upfront with your client and telling them what the costs are, what your payments are, where the rates are at. And if they shop, that's great. I love to compare with other lenders. I'll probably beat most of them.
Right. No, that's a really good point. And you're staying busy right now, right?
I'm the busiest I've been, and I'm not just saying this. The last 3 months since I've made this move, since I've had such lower rates, no offense to my last company, but because they executed and did things well, but the rates weren't great, it's really picked up. And I was talking to a friend that just did the same thing, and we're like, how much our volume has improved. Rate, it is all about rate right now. I hate to say that, but it is about rate. It really is. It's every dollar counts. Yeah. And everyone should shop around, because that's happening too.
Right.
I have friends at my old company that are losing a lot of loans because they just can't compete, and that's unfortunate for the loan officer.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Right.
And that's a great point. It's not something that they can really control.
No, they only have one source of rates.
Right.
So with me, I have over 80 lenders I can send to. Now, would I use all of them? No. Because some probably would not be the great service.
Sure.
I wouldn't be able to get done in time. So there's a select few that I use that can execute and get things done quickly.
Right. But you being busy, that goes to point that the real estate market still is moving.
It is.
Even with these high rates. And I think that's where we're going to see like segmented markets where, potentially someone may already have been pinched with the high interest rates, and going up another point or a half point or 3/4 of a point over the last few weeks is going to like knock them out. But there's still other people there that still has changes in their life, job changes.
There's still escrows out there.
Life changes, yeah. So people are still looking to move, and I think just like there is going to be a little less pressure, but things still seem pretty competitive right now.
It is competitive.
But it's still, people are still buying homes. The one thing is just make sure that you have the staying power. There was a lot of noise before, like, hey, rates are going to drop in 2 months. Rates are going to drop in 2 months.
Right. The commentary on that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just make sure that we don't know when rates are going to drop. So make sure you have the staying power to make this mortgage payment for a couple of years. That you're not going in there expecting rates to go back down to 4 or 5%, like the later this year, first quarter. We just don't know. And so right now I think you have to be more conservative with kind of that.
And quick. I mean, even though I've moved to this side, there's the big, the fear that these mortgage banks put into you is that, you're not going to be able to execute, get stuff done on time. That's not true, but you do have to be quick. You do have to 15-day closes. I mean,
right. Yes.
Like on conforming, you should be doing a 15-day close, no worries, right?
Yeah.
Even release loan and appraisal if you need to. I know that can be a little sticky, but if the person's well qualified and you do your work up front, you can waive loan. You can get the loan underwritten, and if the property's going to value, if you think the value's there, then you could be really quick. Like, you could do almost like a cash offer.
Right.
But you still have to be quick.
Right.
So right now that market is, I've had a few get in the contract where there's been, 6-7 offers. You have to stand out.
Right.
That's still the case.
Right.
And on top of
higher
that,
rates.
Working with someone that is able to back that. For example, I have an escrow where I'm representing the seller, and the lender promised something that he couldn't do, and now the buyer's paying for it because they're not able to meet deadlines, and the penalty for that is a charge per day of every day that the buyer
per diem. Oh yeah, you get a per diem.
I mean, the buyer on that situation is going to lose probably end all be all close to $5,000 because the lender can't do what they said they're going to do. And that's something that's, when you work with a local lender, they have an obligation to.
Well, you're local, right? You're kind of in a glass.
Right.
Exactly.
What's it called? Bubble, right? Everyone's looking at you, right? Like, what's your timing, especially local real estate agents. I mean, you can't look bad.
Right.
You got to get stuff done.
Right. Yep. Cool.
Like you guys.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. No, well, anything else, you guys, that we didn't touch on regarding this? The market's crazy. You need a really good mortgage broker to talk to and to advise you at this point. I really encourage working with someone that's been in the business in the down market, not just a hot market, because things are different now. You need to really go through. You need someone that's very detail oriented.
And communication is everything right now. Communicate with the client. I mean, they really need to know where rates are really at and what their payments are. And, if market moves, you need to contact them.
Right.
Hey, you're pre-approved at this rate.
Right.
Last week was brutal. We just went up a 1/4 or 3. It's an interest rate. You know, this is what your new payment is.
Yeah.
Just so you know, on making your next offer, I want to communicate and let you know where rates are at.
No surprises.
Right.
No surprises.
Yep.
Yep.
No surprise funding.
No surprise funding. There you go. That's a new one. So
every deal right now is a little tricky. If you don't have someone that knows what they're doing, you could get yourself in a huge.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
bad position.
Exactly.
My friend's uncle's brother does loans. Let's send it through them, see how it goes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is not the market. So cool. Well, Stuart, thank you again for joining us today. Isaiah, you as well. If you guys like this content, please hit like and subscribe so you can see future episodes. I'm Sean Payne, owner and founder of LivXplore. Isaiah, our founding agent, and Stuart Broughton of Sonoma Mortgage Group. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Welcome to the LivXplore Podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe.